Pack your bags, but forget the sunscreen, because this Love and Hip Hop Atlanta trip to Puerto Rico turned into pure hell in paradise. What was supposed to be cocktails, beaches, and bonding spiraled into a war zone when Jock's suspicions boiled over. Instead of sipping mojitos, Jock was spitting accusations, not just playful jabs, but the kind of bombshells that make the entire villa freeze. The target, his so-called brother Kirk, and the trigger. One name, Kendra. Jock didn't hint, he didn't suggest, he accused Kirk of crossing the line with his own wife. Cameras caught the moment Jock exploded, veins popping, voice shaking, and Kirk's nervous grin only adding fuel to the fire. Fans are calling it the biggest betrayal in franchise history. And the craziest part, receipts might be coming next. Puerto Rico isn't just hot, it's nuclear. When Love and Hip Hop Atlanta announced a cast trip to Puerto Rico, fans thought they were about to see a softer side of the crew. The trailers teased turquoise waters, luxury villas, cocktails under palm trees, and maybe some bonding moments between cast members who've been beefing for months. It was framed as a chance for everyone to escape Atlanta's chaos and reconnect under the sun. But if you've been watching LHHATL long enough, you already know peace never makes it past the boarding gate. These trips always start with smiles, but by the time the first round of drinks is served, the drama erupts like a volcano. And this time, the eruption was personal. So personal it could burn down friendships and marriages. In one fiery blast. To understand how this Puerto Rican paradise turned into the backdrop for Jock and Lee, Kirk's most explosive fight yet, you've got to rewind. These two men have known each other for years. They've laughed together, made music together, and most importantly, navigated the messy trenches of Atlanta's wild nightlife together. They weren't just co-stars, they were brothers, or so it seemed. Jock, the charismatic jokester with more kids than most folks can count, has always balanced being funny with being messy. He's the type to clown around on camera, but also the type to lose his temper when his pride or his family is on the line. Then there's Kirk Frost. At this point, Kirk's reputation speaks for itself. If Love and Hip Hop Atlanta had a Hall of Fame for scandal, Kirk would be front and center. His marriage to Rashida has survived infidelities, secret babies, and public embarrassments that would have broken most couples years ago. Every time viewers think Kirk has turned a new leaf, another rumor or receipt pops up, dragging him right back into the fire. And yet, somehow, he always manages to plaster on that poker face calm collected, pretending nothing sticks to him. Now enter Kendra Robinson, Jock's wife. Smart, successful, outspoken, and not one to play games. Since marrying Jock, Kendra has been fighting an uphill battle, proving she's loyal, proving she's in it for the long haul, and proving she's not just another Love and Hip Hop storyline. She's been defending Jock in interviews, standing by him when baby mama drama rears its head, and trying to carve out her own identity beyond the chaos. But with Jock's history of cheating and rumors, Kendra's loyalty has been questioned more than once. And in this world, whispers travel fast, especially when they involve two cast members who aren't supposed to cross those lines. So when everyone landed in Puerto Rico, the energy was tense from the start. Cameras captured Jock cracking jokes, Kirk smiling in the background, Kendra looking camera-ready but tight-lipped, and Rashida holding it together like the seasoned veteran she is. On the surface, it looked like a vacation. But beneath the surface, the cast was buzzing. Rumors had been circling for weeks that Kendra's name had been linked to Kirk's in ways that no wife or friend would ever want to hear. Anonymous DMIs, late-night sightings, and whispers about business meetings that looked more like private dates. All of it hung in the air like a storm cloud waiting to burst. At first, Jock played it cool. He laughed with the boys, posed for Instagram, and tried to sell the "I'm here for peace" storyline. But if you paid attention, his eyes told a different story. He was watching Kirk closely, listening for slips, looking for signs. Every laugh, every smirk, every casual comment, Jock studied it like a man who already suspected the truth. And when you walk into paradise with suspicion in your heart, every little thing feels like proof. Meanwhile, Kirk wasn't helping his case. His calm, smooth-talking energy, the same demeanor that's gotten him through 1,000 scandals, only made him look guiltier. He was over-friendly, cracking jokes, and even trying to mediate minor cast spats. But instead of easing tensions, it rubbed Jock the wrong way. To Jock, Kirk wasn't being diplomatic. He was being fake. And the more Kirk smiled, the angrier Jock got. The turning point came when conversations shifted to relationships. As always on Love and Hip Hop, once drinks are flowing, folks start talking reckless. Someone joked about loyalty. Someone else mentioned temptation. And the vibe got heavy. Jock stayed quiet at first, but then Kendra's name slipped into the conversation and everything flipped. Jock's entire energy changed. His smile dropped, his body stiffened, and for the first time on the trip, he looked dead serious. That's when he went off script. Instead of playing it safe, instead of keeping the peace for the cameras, Jock leaned forward, eyes locked on Kirk, and let it rip. He accused Kirk of stepping over the line. Not just rumors, not just whispers, but straight-up betrayal. And the way he said it, it didn't sound like a man fishing for drama. It sounded like a man who had seen or heard something he couldn't ignore. For fans at home, what's shocking, but it also made twisted sense. Kirk's track record with fidelity is non-existent, and Jock's insecurities about his marriage are well documented. Add in weeks of whispers, a tropical setting, and producers egging it on, and you get the perfect recipe for disaster. What was supposed to be a vacation instantly transformed into a trial. Jock, the prosecutor; Kirk, the defendant; Kendra, the evidence; and Rashida, the unwilling witness, dragged into yet another mess. By the time Jock exploded, the villa wasn't a getaway anymore. It was a war zone, and everyone watching knew this was only the beginning. The tension that had been simmering, like a slow boil, finally spilled over. Jock was done smiling, done pretending the trip was about beaches and bonding. His body language shifted first, shoulders tense, eyes narrowed, jaw tight. Everyone at the villa could feel it. The laughter died down. The music suddenly felt too loud. Drinks were set down as castmates sensed something volcanic was about to erupt. And then, out of nowhere, Jock snapped. He leaned forward, slammed his drink on the table, and locked eyes with Kirk. His voice cut through the air like a blade. "Bro, you spent the night with my wife. You had a relationship with Kendra." Silence fell instantly. It wasn't just a comment. It was an accusation so raw, so unfiltered, that it left the whole group frozen. Even the waves crashing outside couldn't drown out the shock that rippled across the room. For a split second, Kirk tried to laugh it off. That classic Frost smirk appeared, the same one he uses whenever he's cornered. The same one that's carried him through scandals before. But this time, it didn't land. Instead of lightening the mood, his nervous chuckle made him look guilty. The room knew it. Jock knew it. Even Rashida, sitting stiff in her chair, could see through it. "Man, you really gonna come at me like that? In front of everybody?" Kirk asked, his tone half defensive, half panicked. But Jock wasn't backing down. He stood up, veins bulging in his neck, eyes blazing like a man betrayed. "This ain't no rumor, Kirk. Don't sit here smiling in my face like you innocent. You think I don't hear things? You think I don't got people telling me what's really going on?" Jock fired back, his voice rising with every word. The other cast members tried to intervene. Spice put her hands up like a referee, urging Jock to calm down. Carly Red leaned in, whispering to Rashida, eyes wide with glee at the mess unfolding. Even Scrappy muttered under his breath, "Oh damn, not again." But Jock wasn't hearing anybody. His target was locked, and Kirk was in the hot seat. Kendra's name was now a grenade in the middle of paradise. Jock practically spit it out every time he said it, as if just repeating it added more weight to the betrayal. "Kendra trusted you. I trusted you. And now I hear you out here playing me behind my back." Jock's voice cracked, not from weakness, but from the rage of a man who feels his pride shattering. Kirk tried again, this time with his go-to defense, deflection. He leaned back, shrugged, and muttered something about people spreading lies just to break us down. But no one was buying it. Jock stepped closer, pointing directly at him, saying, "Nah, this ain't no lie." This is me looking at you man to man and asking, did you or did you not cross the line with my wife? The silence was deafening. Kendra's face went pale, her hands gripping her glass so tightly it looked like it might shatter. Rashida sat frozen, her lips pressed together in a straight line, her eyes darting between her husband and Jock, torn between disbelief and déjà vu. She'd seen this scene before. Kirk accused, the group stunned, the cameras rolling. But this time, the betrayal wasn't aimed at her. It was aimed at Jock, their supposed brotherhood. And that's when Jock's voice grew louder, his words sharper. He reminded everyone of Kirk's history, listing every scandal, every betrayal, every moment Kirk had embarrassed Rashida. You think I don't remember how you did, Rashida? You think I don't know your history? If you could do it to her, why wouldn't you do it to me? The line hit harder than the accusation itself. It was a dagger, slicing through Kirk's carefully built facade. Kirk's face twitched. He shifted uncomfortably, looking for a way out, but the group wasn't giving him one. Even the producers, usually quick to step in before things got too heated. Let the cameras roll. This was TV gold. Jock was on fire, Kirk was cornered, and the tension was thick enough to choke on. Then the whispers started. Castmates exchanging glances. Murmurs about those texts and that DM. Jock wasn't pulling this accusation out of thin air. People had been talking for weeks, and suddenly it all made sense. The late-night messages, the too close for comfort hugs, the unexplained disappearances during filming. Jock's explosion wasn't paranoia. It was the result of a storm that had been building behind the scenes as the confrontation reached its peak. Jock slammed his hand on the table so hard the glasses rattled. Answer me, Kirk. Did you or did you not spend the night with my wife? His voice cracked again, this time with fury and heartbreak colliding in real time. Kirk didn't answer. He stammered, mumbled something about loyalty and brotherhood, and tried to change the subject. But his refusal to give a straight answer was damning. In the world of love and hip-hop, silence is as good as a confession. The villa, once filled with laughter and music, now felt like a courtroom. Jock was the prosecutor, Kirk the defendant, Kendra the evidence, and Rashida. She was the unwilling witness, reliving her own nightmare through her husband's mess. By the time Jock stormed out, the energy was shattered. Drinks sat untouched. The cast was shaken, and viewers at home were left screaming at their screens. Did Kirk actually do it? One thing was certain, this trip was no longer about beaches and bonding. It was about betrayal, broken trust, and a bombshell accusation that would change everything. The confrontation should have ended with Jock's rage-filled accusation. But on love and hip-hop, nothing ever stops at the first explosion. Puerto Rico was no longer paradise. It was the stage for the most shocking reveal of the season. Because while Jock stormed out of the room, the cameras followed. And what they caught next turned whispers into receipts, and rumors into nuclear bombs. JOC wasn't just ranting blindly. He had something on his phone, screenshots, messages, evidence he had been holding back until Kirk pushed him to the edge. He sat by the pool, still fuming, and pulled out his phone while producers swarmed around him, begging him to explain. Y'all want to see why I'm mad? You want to know why I ain't letting this go? Jock barked, his voice trembling with fury. And then he held the phone up to the camera. On that screen were a series of text messages, allegedly between Kendra and Kirk. Blurry screenshots? Yes. But the timestamps, the wording, and the context made everyone's jaws drop. Had a great time last night, one message read. Another, from Kirk's contact, simply said, don't tell nobody. Just us. It wasn't proof beyond a shadow of a doubt. But it was enough to send the internet spiraling into chaos back in the villa. The cast had their own theories. Carly Red whispered to Spice, "Girl, I've been saying Kirk can't be trusted. Now he out here messing with his own friend's wife? Messy, don't even cover it." Spice rolled her eyes, muttering, "Jock gon' need therapy after this one." Even Rashida, usually quick to defend Kirk in public, sat back in her chair, lips pursed, looking like she was seconds away from packing her bags and leaving. Puerto Rico altogether. But the shocking reveal didn't stop with the texts. Word spread that an anonymous producer had leaked footage that had never aired, footage of Kirk and Kendra at an Atlanta after-party months earlier. According to insiders, the two were spotted standing too close, whispering in each other's ears and leaving the venue within minutes of each other. The clip hadn't made it to air before, but now, with Jock's accusations blowing up, producers were seriously considering dropping it into the next episode. Like a bomb. Fans online didn't wait for the network. Within hours, Twitter was flooded with blurry photos, TikToks dissecting every interaction between Kirk and Kendra, and Instagram lives from people who swore they'd seen the two together. One viral tweet read, "Kirk couldn't stay faithful if he was locked in a church. Poor Jock. He really thought this was his boy." Another fan posted a meme of Jock yelling with the caption, "When your bro turns into your stepson's new stepdaddy." The internet was relentless. Meanwhile, Jock's fury escalated. He wasn't satisfied with confronting Kirk. He wanted answers from Kendra. In a tense scene filmed later that night, Jock cornered his wife, demanding the truth. "Tell me straight, Kendra. Did you or did you not let this man cross the line?" Kendra, visibly shaken, denied it again, swearing nothing ever happened. But her voice cracked just enough. Her hesitation lingered just long enough that Jock wasn't convinced. "You hesitated," Jock shouted. "That's all I need to know." The room fell silent. But the reveal wasn't just personal. It was about to ripple through the entire cast. Word spread that producers had held back receipts for months, waiting for the right storyline to drop them. Now, with Jock and Kirk going at it in paradise, they finally had the perfect storm. Castmates whispered that more footage existed, private DMS, blurry club photos, and even a voicemail Kirk allegedly left on Kendra's phone after a night out. If those receipts surfaced, it wouldn't just end Jock and Kirk's friendship. It could end Jock's marriage. And here's where the hypocrisy came in full force. Kirk, who spent years dragging Rashida through scandal after scandal, now wanted the group to believe he was innocent. Jock reminded everyone of the cabin scandal, the side babies, the endless apologies. "If you could do it to your wife, why wouldn't you do it to mine?" Jock's words hit the group like thunder. No one had an answer, not even Kirk. Social media lit up again. Hashtags like #KendraGate, #JOCVs, Kirk, and #Puerto Rico mess trended worldwide. TikTok edits replayed Jock's accusations with dramatic music overlays. Instagram meme pages plastered Kirk's nervous laugh with captions like, "When you guilty but trying to play innocent?" Even celebrities chimed in. Safri posted laughing emojis under a clip, while Erica Mena tweeted, "Puerto Rico was supposed to be fun. Instead, it's Love and Hip Hop Court TV." But the real shock came when an anonymous blog claimed to have receipts linking Kirk and Kendra beyond the texts. According to the blog, someone close to production had screenshots of hotel bookings in Puerto Rico made under Kirk's name, but allegedly used by Kendra. If true, it meant Jock's worst fear wasn't just paranoia. It was reality. The blog post exploded, with fans dissecting every detail, zooming in on booking dates and demanding VH1 release the footage. At this point, the Puerto Rico trip had completely collapsed. What started as an attempt at bonding turned into an all-out war. Jock, pacing the villa like a man on edge, refused to let it drop. "I want the truth, and I want it now," he shouted, his voice echoing through the halls. Kirk, cornered and defensive, could only mutter weak denials. And Kendra, caught in the middle, looked like she wanted to disappear. The shocking reveal wasn't just the texts, the whispers, or even the alleged hotel receipts. It was the realization that this wasn't just a vacation gone wrong. It was the implosion of a brotherhood, the destruction of trust, and the unraveling of marriages, all under the bright Puerto Rican sun. And with the cameras rolling, every second was being immortalized for the world to see. But here's the question that left everyone shaken. Jock already had these receipts. What else was he holding back? And if producers really had more footage, what happens when they decide to drop it? Because in Love and Hip Hop, one reveal is never enough. The next one could destroy everything. The second Jock's accusations hit the airwaves. The fallout reached far beyond Puerto Rico. What should have been a messy cast fight turned into a cultural firestorm. Fans, bloggers, celebrities, and even industry insiders jumped. Even celebrities couldn't resist weighing in. Safri posted laughing emojis during the live broadcast, clearly entertained by the drama. Erica Mena tweeted, "This is why I don't do group trips. Paradise always ends in hell." Spice hopped on IG Live with Carly Red, both sipping wine and laughing as they recapped the fight in their own dramatic style. But not every celebrity found it funny. Lil Scrappy posted a cryptic message. "A man's peace don't deserve disrespect. Real ones don't cross the line." Fans speculated he was siding with JOC. Bloggers and YouTubers moved quickly, releasing breakdown videos within hours. Titles like Kendra Caught in the Middle, Jock vs. Kirk, Puerto Rico Breakdown racked up millions of views overnight. Gossip blogs alleged that VH1 producers had been sitting on footage of Kirk and Kendra looking too cozy for months. And they finally had the green light to use it. Suddenly, fans weren't just mad at Kirk, they were accusing producers of exploiting Jock's pain for ratings. One comment read, "They knew. They set this up." Puerto Rico was the trap. The industry reactions were just as messy. VH1 executives, according to whispers, were thrilled. Ratings spiked as clips of the Puerto Rico fight went viral across platforms. But insiders admitted there was concern too. Kirk's reputation was already toxic from past cheating scandals. And adding Kendra into the mix risked alienating Jock, a fan favorite. Some sources claimed execs were debating whether to spin the scandal into its own storyline, or cut it short before it damaged the show's credibility. But in true Love and Hip Hop fashion, nobody expected them to walk away from a ratings goldmine. Behind the scenes, cast members picked sides. Carly Red allegedly told producers she believed Jock lay, saying she'd seen the way Kirk looks at Kendra. Spice, ever the truth teller, reportedly confronted Kendra directly, asking if she had anything to hide. Kendra denied it all, but whispers from the set suggested her castmates weren't convinced. Even Rashida, exhausted from years of Kirk scandals, reportedly rolled her eyes during filming, muttering, "Same old story, different woman." The fallout hit harder once fans started pulling receipts of their own. Old footage of Kirk and Kendra at Atlanta clubs resurfaced, with fans pointing out flirty body language and too close hugs. Blurry fan photos popped up on Reddit, allegedly showing them leaving the same venue just minutes apart. Even if the evidence was circumstantial, the internet treated it like gospel. Reddit threads titled "Proof Kirk Messed with Kendra" blew up, with users dissecting every detail like detectives on a case. And then came the sponsors. Rumors circulated that brands tied to the show were nervous about attaching their names to yet another Kirk scandal. One insider told a blog that a major fashion brand considered pulling back on promotional deals with the cast, citing reputation risk. But at the same time, smaller brands saw opportunity, flooding Jock's comments with offers of support and merchandise collabs. The scandal wasn't just drama, it was business. What really shook fans, though, was the personal fallout. Jock's family reportedly confronted him after the episode, demanding to know if the rumors were true. Kendra, according to anonymous insiders, was furious at producers for setting her up. And Kirk, he allegedly doubled down, insisting to cast and crew that Jock was paranoid and the whole thing was producer-fueled nonsense. But his track record worked against him. As one fan posted, "If Kirk says the sky is blue, I'm still checking outside." By the end of the week, it wasn't just a love and hip-hop storyline anymore. It was a cultural moment, a messy, shocking, active scandal that blurred the lines between entertainment and reality. Jock's explosion became a meme. Kirk's denials became a joke. And Kendra, she became the question mark everyone couldn't stop debating. Did she? Didn't she? And what would happen if the alleged unseen footage finally dropped? Just when everyone thought the Puerto Rico trip couldn't possibly get any messier, the final twist hit like a thunderclap. What started as a screaming match between Jock and Kirk over Kendra's loyalty morphed into something bigger, darker, and more dangerous than anyone on the cast could have predicted. Because the receipts Jocka dropped weren't the end, they were just the beginning. It all went down during the last dinner of the trip. The cast gathered, pretending to enjoy cocktails and seafood platters, but the tension was suffocating. Jock refused to even look at Kirk. Kendra sat stiff as a statue, and Rashida's face screamed exhaustion. The producers, smelling blood in the water, kept the cameras rolling. And then, out of nowhere, a production assistant handed Jock an envelope. His eyes widened, and he smirked. "Oh, y'all thought I came unprepared? Nah, I came loaded." Inside the envelope were printed screenshots, not just of texts, but of hotel booking confirmations and timestamps that lined up with the exact nights. Kendra claimed she was working late. Jock slammed them on the table. "This right here proves y'all been playing me." The entire table gasped. Kendra's jaw dropped. Kirk laughed nervously, trying to wave it off. But the evidence was too specific, too damning to ignore. The cameras zoomed in, and the villa fell into stunned silence. Kendra, cornered, snapped. For the first time, she raised her voice, accusing Jock of being paranoid, insecure, and letting the streets dictate his marriage. "You want to believe a couple of screenshots over your wife?" "Over me," she yelled, her voice cracking. But the damage was done. Jock leaned forward, his eyes blazing. "I don't need the streets to tell me nothing. I see how you look at him. I see how he looks at you." And then came the twist that shattered the room. Rashida, who had sat silent the entire time, finally spoke. "Jock ain't crazy," she muttered, staring straight at Kirk. The cast froze. Jock's head snapped toward her. "What you mean by that?" he pressed. Rashida exhaled deeply and said, "Let's just say, I've seen enough to know Kirk ain't innocent." The villa erupted into chaos. The cliffhanger didn't end there, because according to leaked whispers online, producers have footage they still haven't aired, footage of a late night rendezvous in Puerto Rico where Kirk and Kendra were allegedly caught leaving the hotel bar together. The clip, insiders say, is grainy but undeniable, and the network is saving it for the reunion. If true, it means the reunion special won't just be a recap hit, will be a detonation. Social media is already buzzing about the rumored footage. Fans are split between calling it the nail in the coffin for Jock and Kendra's marriage, and demanding that Rashida finally walk away from Kirk once and for all. One viral tweet read, "If VH1 really sitting on footage of Kirk and Kendra creeping, Jock might burn that reunion stage to the ground." Another posted, "Rashida's silence this whole trip said everything. She knows. We all know. Behind the scenes, cast members are reportedly terrified about the fallout." Spice allegedly told friends that the reunion was going to end in fists, not words. Carly read, "Never one to miss a moment." Teased on Instagram Live, "Y'all think Puerto Rico was messy? Baby, the reunion gone make history." And the scariest part, Jock has hinted that he has even more evidence he hasn't released yet. Fans spotted him liking tweets about saving the good stuff for the reunion. If that's true, then Kirk's entire world might collapse on live television, and Kendra's carefully built marriage could crumble with it. The final dinner in Puerto Rico ended with Jock storming out, Rashida in tears, and Kirk trying to joke it off, but nobody was laughing. The producers couldn't have scripted a better cliffhanger if they tried. Paradise was destroyed, trust was shattered, and friendships were burned to ash. And so, the season leaves us with the ultimate question. When the reunion stage lights go up and those receipts are finally played for the world, will Jock and Kendra's marriage survive? Will Rashida finally break free of Kirk's endless scandals? Or will this be the season where Love and Hip Hop Atlanta doesn't just break hearts, it breaks families forever? Because if Puerto Rico was the appetizer, the reunion is about to be the full-course disaster. And the only guarantee, not everyone will make it outstanding. And there you have it. Family, the Puerto Rico trip that was supposed to be a vacation turned into the most explosive betrayal we've ever seen. On Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Jock's accusations, Kirk's weak denials. Kendra caught in the middle, and Rashida dropping that chilling confirmation this isn't just drama. It's a straight-up disaster. But the biggest question remains. What happens when those unseen receipts finally surface? Will Jock bring the ultimate proof to the reunion?